Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Can You Really Think and Grow Rich tour alongside Adora Evans. And of course, I'm excited, Adora, because we're about to have somebody on the air who, in my view, is like the modern day Napoleon Hill, right? Someone that has studied successful people relentlessly, someone that understands success principles. So before we bring him on, and we have a very short amount of time with him, so we're going to get straight to the meat and potatoes. But Adora, how excited are you to spend some time today with Evan Carmichael?
I'm super excited. I'm excited to dive into his story as well. I love knowing that he's an introvert that has just made it. And I'm also, when you think about Napoleon Hill, I don't know that Napoleon Hill made as much money as this guy. Maybe he did. We're still figuring it out. But yeah, super duper excited.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and bring him on because I know the audience watching, the folks in this community, the people that are always growing themselves, which is what this branch of the Los Angeles Tribune is all about, know about Evan Carmichael. And I mean, who's not subscribed to his YouTube channel? If you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, you're probably not in my circle. So let's go ahead and bring Evan on. Evan Carmichael, thank you so much for being here with us. And welcome to the Can You Really Think and Grow Rich program. You know, on this tour, Evan, we have been communicating with lots of different living legends, and we have a great lineup of folks that are dissecting the principles of Napoleon Hill, whether it's Jack Canfield or Les Brown, and I can go on and on and on with the great names here. And we wanted you very specifically because in our view, you are like the modern day Napoleon Hill, at least in my opinion, right? Because you have spent so many years studying success principles. So first of all, welcome to the program, Evan. How you feeling today?
Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Adora. Great to be here. An honor. The first time I was called the Modern Day Napoleon Hill was by Ed Milet in his home in San Diego. And he brings me down to his basement. He's got this amazing kind of kitchen setup down there. And he says, Evan, Napoleon Hill is probably the most influential person in personal development. And you're the modern day Napoleon Hill. And I didn't know how to receive that at the time. I said, can I use that? Are you good if I use that just as a moniker? And anyway, blown away. Appreciate the love. Really, I think ultimately what we all want to serve. We all want to help. We all want to feel like we wake up and we're doing something today that matters to somebody else. I think we're wired to serve. And this is one of the ways that I've been able to do it. It's been a long journey, a long road, and now we're here. And so it's an honor, and thanks for having me, guys.
Well, here I am thinking I'm such a witty guy coming up with something original. I didn't know that Ed Milet already beat me to the punch. But Evan, the truth is very few people have dedicated as much time to study what makes someone an outlier, what makes someone successful, what is that X factor than you have, at least in today's modern world, in my view. And so really, what do you think it is that in your journey, as you think back to what Napoleon Hill did about 100 years ago, what are the common, can you relate to his journey? Can you look back at his story and really feel like you understand this desire to understand what makes people great?
And work a bag of Doritos into that, okay?
You want the Doritos story? Okay. We'll get to that one. Yeah, I think, I really struggled in my first business. I quit on my business partner for a day and then came back because I didn't want to live with the regret of not knowing. And the thing that saved my business at the time wasn't yet Napoleon Hill. I didn't know the book yet. It was really just somebody's figured this out before. Like somebody has figured this out before. How do I build a software company? Somebody's done it. And so I thought of Bill Gates, who's the only software guy I could think of at the time, and studied how he did it with his company. And I didn't go talk to him. I didn't know him. I just researched him. And I think that's like, if you're taking Think and Grow Rich into the modern era, you don't have to go and talk to the people anymore. You've got amazing broadcasts like this. You've got books and YouTube channels like mine and podcasts. Like you can learn from these people without ever having to meet them. I still haven't met Bill Gates yet, and a lot of my heroes have passed, and I won't meet them. But in learning about Bill Gates and how he started his company, it led me to making my first big deal for $13,500. And I say that because I was making $300 a month. And so $13,500 might as well have been $13.5 million. Like I felt rich just by modeling success. And since then, whenever I don't know what to do, it's like, I ask myself, who has done this thing? And there are some secrets and there's some clues to that success that I don't have to come up with every answer all by myself, that people have figured it out. And so, I looked at the lineup for this event here, and it's an honor. Some of my heroes are here, and you can learn from it. And the key is to be an intentional learner. Like everybody watching, there's so many great guests here and speakers. Be an intentional learner, right? Come in, yes, with an open mind, and yes, with your pen and notepad, and shut off the distractions and get ready to get some great content poured into you. But think to yourself before you even come into a session, what do I want out of this event? Why am I here? Like, what am I trying to create for myself? What do I want to learn? And the more you can be that kind of intentional learner, the more likely you're going to get the result that you're looking for, as opposed to just being open-minded. The Doritos bag behind me, to Adora's point, I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. People ask me, does Doritos sponsor you? Like, if they knew why I had this here, they would not sponsor me. When you are on a health, you're trying to get healthy, you're on a diet, the common advice is get the junk food out of your house. That's what everybody says. Like, okay, cool. I tried that. And then what I found was when I went on vacation or a party or a cruise ship or something, I would just start slamming the food back. And my vice is Doritos. I love these things. And this is a big bag. Like, it looks small back there, but this is this is the giant Costco huge size bag of Doritos. And the reason it's there is because I don't want to have it own me. I have what I call play bigger triggers. And these are things that you can set up in your environment that remind you to play a bigger game. And when I walk in here and I look at the bag of Doritos, my mouth waters. Like, I want to eat that whole thing right now. But I don't. And it's a reminder that I am stronger than the Doritos. And so the strategy is damn the Doritos. And that may be one that's harder for people to grasp and understand. But whatever makes you feel bold and confident and alive and full of potential and courage, whether it's people in your life, whether it's coming to events like this, whether it's channels you subscribe to, whether it's something physical in your office, whether it's what you wear, on your clothes every day. If you're doing the things that make you feel bold, confident, and alive, if you did that for a year, holy cow, the next year of your life, if you come back next year as we do this again, you'll be in a totally different place. And so that's one of the play bigger triggers for me. And, thanks for letting me share the story.
I love that, especially after COVID. I don't think bold, confident, alive. It's been more like sweatpants, messy hair, laid back. And those are great because you can be bold, confident, and alive in those things. But I love that you brought that up. It's interesting how something so small could have such a major impact. And if any one person took just one of those on today, like, what a difference. So we know your background, but I'd love for you to give us a little bit of your journey for people who are new to you. Can you give us a little of that?
Sure. I mean, I'm probably best known for either my YouTube channel or the books that I've written, but I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I think people don't believe in themselves enough. I think everybody has what I call Michael Jordan level genius at something, that you are the greatest in the world at something. And the challenge is we don't believe in it, that we could be great at something. And if we have found something, we don't believe in ourselves enough to go chase it down. And so that's what I wake up every day trying to solve. And I've got a YouTube channel that people watch that Mo's a subscriber to. So appreciate that, man, that there's a +1 there. And I write books and I come on shows like this, and honestly, just trying to serve. Like, again, we all want to feel like what we do matters. And I want to help entrepreneurs believe in themselves more. And it's great to be here.
Well, everyone in this community knows who Evan Carmichael is for the most part. And people ask me all the time, because you, like me, Evan, and Adora as well, we've had a chance to interview so many incredible, successful people. And people ask me, who's the coolest person you've interviewed? And I say it's Evan Carmichael. He came on the show on his birthday last year, right? And so, and that's a testament to your work ethic, Evan. Whether it's your birthday or whether it's a holiday, you're still putting in work. You don't say, this is a day off. When you have a chance to serve, when you have a chance to contribute to humanity, you take that opportunity. And I want to know, what is it that from all of these different people you've interviewed, from all of these different people you've studied, when you sit back and you think about your life, who are a couple of the people, you mentioned some of the heroes are on this lineup, but who are a couple of the folks that have really struck a chord with you, right? Like, what is a principal? What is a teacher? Who is somebody that you can look back and say, wow, if I didn't hear that sentence, if I didn't read that chapter, if I didn't hear that speech, my life would be different.
Man, so many. And just to your comment about the birthday, that was fun when we did that, on my birthday. I don't even see it as work ethic though, to be honest, Mo. It's just, what better way to celebrate your birthday than to serve and help, right? Like it's fun. And I think that's probably one of the key things that I've taken from all the people that I've studied is they have fun in the work. Like the work itself is uplifting and fun and worth doing, not just the end result that they're after. So that was easy to come on the birthday and do it. Like we should celebrate every birthday with Mo. With Mo. Like, why are we not doing that? That's I just had my birthday. We should have done something on May 20th. But from people that I've learned from, God, man, so many. I mean, I think young Les Brown is my hero from a speaker. You think of Les Brown in the Georgia Dome. I don't know any speaker who touches that. And yeah, there he is, more than news, Les Brown live on the air. I love Les Brown, and I love that he's still going. I love that he's still making. It's an inspiration for me to continue. And I think one of the things that people look at when they're looking at some of their heroes, they feel like it's not possible, and when people say don't compare yourself to others, I have maybe it's like a damn the Doritos strategy, but I have a contrary feeling on that. I think comparison is actually fantastic as long as you do it right. Most people, when you're comparing yourself to a Les Brown, you think, wow, I could never be like that. And we kick ourselves down. Where instead, I'd encourage you to compare yourself in a positive way to say, that's what's possible. That's what's possible. Les Brown is another guy who puts his pants on, one leg at a time. He shows up, he's still doing the work. That's what's possible. And if he can do it, you can do something great as well. And so they use it as inspiration as opposed to a kick down. But I think you need the kick. Like, I think without the comparison, we stay stuck. We stay small. It's easy if you're part of this event, you're probably the highest achiever in your circle, right? Like, you're the one pouring into other people. You're the one investing and learning and try to improve and trying to get better and giving light into other people. And that's great. And keep doing that. It's amazing. But who's pouring into you? Who's pushing you forward in a loving way, not pushing you towards some other direction, but like in a loving way forward? That's where I think you can learn from heroes. And for me, looking at a speaker like Les Brown is a kick to say, man, I've done a lot and I can still get so much better because look at Les Brown and look at what he's doing. And so use that as inspiration as opposed to a kick down. But yeah, let's go with Les Brown.
Les Brown is a part of this tour, and he's been on our platform several times. And I once asked him, Les, what made you the greatest of all time? And he said, before every speech I give, I always say, more of thee, less of me. And I thought that was very profound. It was very spiritual. It was a spiritual answer. And Napoleon Hill is more spiritual than people really realize in many respects. But Adora, I want to kick it off to you to see if you have a question for Evan before we continue the second half of this conversation.
Yeah. Evan, so I want you to dive in a little bit. Well, first, I want to comment on what you said, because a lot of leaders are giving, and then there's so much energy going out becomes sort of this weight down. While it's very flattering to be the smartest, most needed in the room, most resourceful or whatever, in my own life, I found when I started making time to be around people that were at another level than I was, that's when I made the greatest leaps, and it condensed time for me in more ways than I can even explain: relationship, money, business resources. So before I ask the question, do you want to say any more about that, about what's possible when you get in rooms? I know you started it.
Yeah, I mean, even events like this, if you connect, if you guys have a group, if there's a Facebook group and there's a live chat, like just connecting with other like-minded people, man, it makes such a huge difference. And so there's three kinds of groups of people. Okay, there's a group that we're serving. There's a group that we're helping, that we're taking our journey up the staircase, and every time we take a new step, we reach back and help somebody get to one more step. Right? If you're at step 8, cool, you can help people get to step 3. Right. And so we're reaching back and serving and helping. And everybody needs to do that. The second group are the peers. And that's other people who are here watching live, just like you. Connect with those people. like you don't know enough of people who are like you on a journey, on a mission, trying to make the world a better place. You don't know enough or have enough of those people in your life. So when you come to an event like this, try to collect some of those people, right? So you have business partners, you have follow-ups, you have community beyond just going back to your regular life afterwards. And then the third group are mentors, people who you can learn from, people who've done more than you in the thing that you're trying to learn. And whether it's coming to an event like this or trying to get mentorship one-on-one, that builds, like you don't just all of a sudden get mentored by Les Brown, but you can work your way towards it if you're in his community, if you're signing up for his programs, if you're contributing to the stuff that he's creating. Maybe he calls on you and you get coached to be one of his students. I got coached by Les on his live stream to his audience, talking about speakers and creating the story. And that's, that was years in the making to create that. But if you can think about those three groups of people, the people who you want to help and serve, where you're contributing to them, your peers, where you're pouring into each other, and then your mentors who are pouring into you, and making sure you have enough in each category. Most people watching this, I'd assume, have most in that first category. You're helping a lot of people. Cool. But you don't have enough peers who you're doing this journey with, and you don't have enough mentors who are pouring into you. And if you can fix all three circles, your life changes.
That's huge. That's huge. And then Evan, are you really an introvert still? Because I know personalities can shift with growth and development. And then what do you have to say to introverts?
Yeah, it takes me a long time to get going. And doing an event like this, it's helped that I've we already did last year on my birthday with Mo. The thing that gets me through is service. Like back to the Les Brown quote that Mo brought up, when I can focus on who we're trying to serve and who we're trying to help. I struggled for years. This is one of the reasons why my YouTube channel grew so slowly in the early days, is I thought that only people with huge egos would tell their story. You have to be a big loudmouth. You have to be extroverted. I'm not any of that. I don't particularly enjoy sharing my story. I don't like getting on stage and talking. It's really just a setup to what happens afterwards. If I'm at a physical event, my favorite part is speaking on stage to then go meet people in the hallway afterwards. And I have to, even now, to your question, Adora, even now, remind myself that I'm here to serve. I want to have an impact. There's people watching this that will need my message in a way that maybe they can't relate as much to the other speakers, that I'm trying to have touch one person to have this be the moment that it finally clicks for them. And if I didn't show up because I was too afraid, or I was afraid of disappointing people, or afraid of not looking good, or afraid of something happening, or not knowing what questions you guys would ask me, once the fear takes over, then it doesn't just limit your ambitions, but it limits your ability to serve and help people. So every time I can go from thinking about myself to who this is going to help, then things start to get better and gives me the courage to go through.
That's good advice for extroverts too, so that they can be in service rather than just, hey, here I am with my awesome story. So for those introverts that are listening, and for the extroverts, this is a great opportunity for transformation. What are some of the core valuable things about an introverted person and their nature that they may not get, the world won't get to have the benefit of, unless the introvert is willing to be seen, be heard, get out of their own way? And that'll help extroverts value their spouses, their children, their colleagues at a higher level. And it also helps the introvert go, okay, I hear you, Evan. You did that. You're awesome, and actually receive it.
Well, I think everybody has a story that's worth sharing. I think if you believe, like I believe, that your purpose comes from your pain, that whatever you struggled the most with is what you want to help other people through, then whether you're introvert or extrovert, you have a story. You've been through stuff, and you want to help other people. The greatest high of all time is helping somebody who is currently going through the thing that you struggled with, and seeing their eyes light up because in talking to you for 2 minutes, now they have hope and they have a strategy, right? So that's a human thing. Your purpose comes from your pain, and we want to serve, and there's value in your story. I think between introvert and extrovert, at least from my end as an introvert, I think there's a lot of value in listening. We don't need to be in the spotlight. We don't need to be the person on stage. And we're great listeners, and we answer the questions, hopefully. And so it doesn't have to be all about you. I think it maybe even makes it easier to serve people if you're introverted, because the whole point of sharing anything you're going to say is on them, because we don't need to have the spotlight. We don't crave the spotlight. The only reason for getting up on stage is to go off and serve. Where an extrovert probably has an easier time getting up on stage and like, look at me and hey, here we go. But maybe has to do more work to connect it to service, because they get a lot more of a high from getting the accolades. I don't know. I can't speak enough from the extrovert side, but from the introvert side, it definitely requires you to exercise the courage muscle. And just remember, you're a great listener, and you ask great questions, and you still want to serve and help. And that's going to be the highest version of you. And every other story that's in your way cannot be good enough anymore. Not anymore. Not for you. Not after this event. You have to take action on those big ideas, because you're going to change people's lives.
That's so powerful. To echo what you're saying and then pass it to Mo, is that one of the greatest gifts in the world is being heard. And people are often so busy pushing their own message out that some of the most powerful people never get really, or rarely are really heard. When I first started selling high ticket years ago, which was a challenge for me, I got into this place where I thought I had to generate all this incredible wisdom, even beyond, like I just needed to over deliver, which is true. But the funniest thing is the biggest breakthroughs, those aha moments where they're just crying and having massive breakthroughs, came from listening and then reflecting back what I heard. And someone going, oh my gosh, you just heard me. Like again and again, those were the most high value things. So what you just said is so profound and powerful for anyone listening.
No, it really
you know
is.
What? Hold on. Can I just say, I feel heard there, Adora. Thank you.
Evan, I wish we had more time, but we're going to wrap up here in just a few minutes. We're going to give you the floor. I want you to talk a little bit about a couple different things in closing. One, Napoleon Hill had 17 principles, one of which was accurate thinking. Now, the reason very specifically I want you to talk about that one is because I think that's the one that people kind of spend the less amount of time on, right? People love to spend time on positivity, motivation, visualization. But a lot of times, especially people in the community that you and I both impact, Evan, they don't necessarily want to spend time on accurate thinking, right? And I think that unless you have an accurate point of view, a realistic point of view, an honest point of view, it's very difficult to have a real transformation. So I want you to talk about that specific principle and what your views and thoughts are on it. And then just to wrap up, I want to talk a little bit about this t-shirt, your community. What does this word believe mean to you? So we can, inform our audience a little bit more about more than just, Evan Carmichael, the YouTube channel, but the stuff you do outside of your public persona and the community that you've created. So we're going to give you the floor as we wrap up here in the last couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I mean, believe really is, I think, the world's biggest problem. We don't believe in ourselves enough. My biggest problem is still I don't believe in myself for the next step. And that's why I still want to learn from Les Brown and some of my heroes. And when you're around people, even if it's virtual like this, or, again, podcasts, or YouTube channels, or books that make you believe more in yourself. Imagine if you woke up every day for the next year doing something that made you believe in yourself. How much has your life changed? It's just incredible. That's why I think it's the world's biggest problem, or the lack of belief is the world's biggest problem. To your question about Napoleon Hill and making the right decisions, I two-step this. I think at the beginning, release yourself from the burden of having to make a perfect decision. I think the biggest thing most people are missing is just momentum. The fact that you're here is already taking a step in momentum, right? What are your friends doing right now, right? Probably not this yet, right? So like, congratulations, like pat yourself on the back, right? Like high five, you're here, you're building momentum. And the best thing that will come out of this is to do something, take some kind of action, and don't expect it to be perfect, right? Once you start the doing, now it's time to get a little more precise in our action, right? That's where you ask for mentors. That's where you ask for help. Earlier today, I was helping somebody with their YouTube channel, and we were looking at her thumbnails, and they were not getting enough clicks. And like objectively, this is not a thumbnail that's working for you. The data is clearly showing you that this is not good. So unless there's some of the reason why you have that thumbnail, you should change it. That's a smart decision, and that's the honest truth. It's not meant to be brutal. It's not meant to be putting her down. Objectively, this needs to be fixed. And when you can be around the people who have, back to mentorship, be around the people who can actually give you the guidance, who can in a loving way tell you where you're falling down and what you should do to get to the next step, it just supercharges your growth. So first step is action. Just do something. Take imperfect action. Don't worry about being perfect out of the gate. And then 2, once you have some momentum built up, find some peers, find some mentors, come to events, ask your questions so that you can get the exact feedback that you need to then turbocharge your growth. And I know we're running out. I want to, if we can bring back Mo and Adora just on the screen, I want to acknowledge you guys for the work that you're doing. I know it must have been scary and challenging. And like when you came up with this idea of what you're going to do in this tour, and it's like, are we really going to do this? And like, here we are, and the growth from last year to this year, and the lineup is incredible. And guys, imagine 5 more years of this, and the lives you're going to change and the impact. And I'm just super excited for what you're building, and honored to be a small part of it.
Well, you're a trailblazer in the work that we're doing, Evan, as far as utilizing modern technology to transform lives. And so, whatever we do, it's because of trailblazers like you that, we're on YouTube when no one else was on YouTube, that we're creating content when not a lot of people were creating that kind of content, transformational material. So thank you, Evan, for inspiring us to do what we're doing. And so with that being said, we want to thank you, Evan. Hopefully we can reconnect, a little shorter than a year next time. But with that, if you have any short final words that you want to say, Evan, and then we'll bid you adieu.
Yeah, just believe that it can happen. Believe that you can do it. Believe that it will work out. Believe.
Thank you so much, Evan Carmichael, ladies and gentlemen. We could not do the Can You Really Think and Grow Rich tour without the modern day Napoleon Hill. And so, you asked and we delivered. Evan Carmichael, we want to thank you again. Until next time, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And Adora, what a powerful conversation that we just had with Evan Carmichael. And so, folks, I want you to stand by, stay, locked in, stay focused, keep taking notes, because up next we have another incredible speaker in the global Can You Really Think and Grow Rich tour. And before we go there, Adora, what are your main takeaways from the time that we spent with who Ed Milet called the modern day Napoleon Hill? Adora.
Well, I'm just really moved by what a kind soul Evan is. He's speaking my love language in so many ways, including the desire to acknowledge us at the end and to really wrap that up. So he's a living example of what leaders are, and that he is vulnerable in sharing, hey, I'm still working on this belief thing. And that it really all comes down to that. I think so many leaders get to a place and just think that they're supposed to look like they've arrived. And he's very blatantly going, no, I'm still stretching to my next level. So he definitely moved me. Thank you, Mo.
Absolutely. It was really powerful. And again, folks, stay tuned. This event is just getting started. And we're excited to have everyone from around the world tuning in. And up next, we have a special surprise for you coming right up.